Well, finally, after a series of weeks of quietness, absolutely no leaks, no rumors, nothing regarding any upcoming events or anything, it seems like there is now a rumor out there that is picking up steam. And this comes from a user on Famiboards, and not just any user, apparently someone that is very liable from things that they've mentioned in the past. But I've actually seen this article from comicbookgaming.com who's been talking about this, and obviously a lot of other people have picked up on it as well. If you follow any other news outlets, they've kind of been talking about it all week, and I'm very interested in this, and once I saw it picking up steam, I decided to look into it myself. But okay, so this is all that's happening. This comes from Famiboards, and this was under a discussion talking about Nintendo Direct speculation, and it's titled A Jamboree of Wisdom and Famiship. That's an amazing title. But the thing we're keeping an eye on is PH Brazil. Now, apparently he's gotten some things right in the past, and I do remember talking about him before a couple of times and seeing his name pop up, but he comes up and says, "Oh, I'm glad you already have a thread up for this. You might need it sooner rather than later." Someone then asked, "You mentioned there'd be an indie world in August. That's still happening, Brazil?" And then he states, not in August, September. He also says, and before anyone claims I'm saying the date changed, I'm not. As always, information gets clearer as we edge closer to things. We then have a user named Daybreak who chimes in and says, "My speculation based on this is that Nintendo is doing some swapping around. I could see the rest of this year being 1. Nintendo Direct in August, 2. Indie World in September, and 3. Next Gen Switch reveal in October." He also states, "This would also explain why the Pokemon Company did a bunch of Pokemon announcements this week. No Pokemon Presents as a Direct is incoming." So yeah, this is very strange to me, and you know what? As before I was talking to you guys, I was really predicting August to be a month to reveal Switch 2, right before the September Direct, so that way September you can actually show off Switch 2 games during the Direct, and not just Switch 1 games, which would be pretty cool, and really get that hype built up, and it just made sense in my head, and then have a major Switch 2 blowout either later on in the year or early next year. That schedule worked perfectly, and yeah, that's just something I thought would work. I never really ever expected Nintendo to do something in August, so I'm still on the fence about this, and let me tell you why. So let's talk about what this could be, okay? Maybe this isn't what we're expecting at all, but there's just some other event that's happening. Well, what about a General Direct? Does a General Direct sound likely here in the month of August? Not really, and let me tell you why. We just had a Nintendo Direct in June, and they showcased all the games that are coming this holiday season. There'd be absolutely no reason to have a Nintendo Direct this soon, just like literally a couple months later. Why would they have a Direct right now? I know it doesn't really matter in the long game because, you know, technically we'd have one next month in September, and like literally that's in a couple of weeks. So does it really matter that it's this early? Not necessarily. Nintendo could have switched things around and surprised us and did something different, but we've never really ever had a Nintendo Direct in August. So I don't know if this is a General Direct. I mean, honestly, why do they even need one right now? Zelda Echoes of Wisdom just got a 5-minute trailer dump a couple of weeks ago. Actually, my fault, a week ago. So why would Nintendo feel they need to show off that game in a Nintendo Direct? Wouldn't they just save that information for a Direct? And, you know, yeah, you can still talk about Mario Party, but how much more do you need to talk about Mario Party? Mario and Luigi Brothership is like the only other one I could see them diving more into. Honestly, the more I think about this, I still don't even see a Nintendo Direct happening in September, unless there's still some games coming out next year, like in February, March, or April. Like some bigger games for Switch, which there's just no possible way. Yeah, that's the only thing I can see happening. Or if Nintendo reveals some type of Switch 2 ahead of time, so that way they can have some big reveals during the show that are not just Switch 1 focused. Now, what about a mini Direct or a partner showcase? This one sounds more legit. I could see them doing something like this and kind of repeating what they were doing at the beginning of this year. Remember when we were expecting a February Direct and we got a partner showcase because all the rumors were suggesting we were going to get that because a Switch 2 event was going to happen the next month in March, but then the delay happened apparently and pushed everything back. So maybe this is a repeat at the beginning of the year. We're going to have some type of like small partner showcase or a mini Direct, something along those lines. And then we can move on to the month of September. That's just kind of, you know, another small month that's showing the Indie World Showcase and stuff and getting us ready for maybe a big event in either the end of September or October would make a lot of sense. So I think it's more likely we'd get a partner showcase or a mini if we're getting any type of Direct at all. I've also seen some people throw up the idea of a game-specific direct, and I don't think this is happening either. I'm actually 100% shutting this down. It wouldn't make any sense. What game is Nintendo going to have a full direct on right now in the month of August? Mario & Luigi Brothership is way too far out. They are not going to do that for that game, at least not yet. It's a possibility, but no, I don't ever see them doing a Mario & Luigi game, you know, going into that much detail. You don't really need to. It's also way too early for some type of Metroid Prime direct unless Nintendo really wants to market this game and just surprise everybody and say, hey, here's a specific showcase for Metroid Prime that you can look forward to in 2025. I don't know. I completely doubt that too, though. So that leaves us Mario Party and Zelda. So Mario Party Jamboree, once again, we're never going to be getting a direct focus on a Mario Party game. That's just not happening, so we can just roll that out of the way. The only plausible option would be Echoes of Wisdom, and once again, I don't think this is the case. Once again, we just got a 5-minute trailer dump on Twitter. Why would they give us a 5-minute trailer dump just for a couple of weeks later to give us a direct focused on the game? And I don't think this is the type of game that needs a whole direct based on it. A top-down 2D Zelda game. They've already showed us a lot about the game. I feel like they would just be spoiling it at that point. And it's not the next Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom. It's not something that needs a direct. And plus, Brazil did say this was shifted from September. So that wouldn't have even made sense because the game launches in September. The last possible option would be maybe something Pokemon related. I don't know if they consider that a direct. That's not really a direct of any kind. Maybe that's what they're talking about, but we always get one in August, so I don't know how this would be shifted from September because once again, Brazil said this was something in September that's being pushed forward to August. So I don't think it's Pokemon related. It sounds like it's either a partner direct or a mini direct or some sort of presentation maybe for Switch 2. Maybe that's what this is some type of little event or something to showcase what Switch 2 is, to finally get the name out there. Remember, Nintendo said not to think of this as a brand new generational hardware thing, but just the next step up from Switch. So this is probably going to be something very similar to what we've been calling it, the Switch 2, a more powerful, better version of the Switch. They don't necessarily need to have a big trailer reveal and make us wait long after that. They could just show off this new console in August and be like, hey, this is the new thing, this is what it does, this is what it's going to do and all that, and then say, hey, look forward to some of the games in this upcoming September Nintendo Direct. That would be perfect, and they could even tease some of the games during that Switch 2 trailer. Maybe show off some clips of the new Mario Kart or some clips of the new 3D Mario and just say, stay tuned for these games in the next Direct, which would be the next month in September. That sounds like the best option to me. Is Nintendo going to do it? Probably not. You know, I could definitely see this just being a partner showcase, and that comment that we read on the fan boards probably sounds the best, you know, with this being some type of mini event, like maybe a partner showcase this month, with September being focused on the indie world, and obviously October being focused on Switch 2. We're just going to have to wait and see, but this is very interesting. Let me know what you guys think down below. Do you think this month is going to have anything revealed? Nintendo is a little bit on the downslope right now, so I can see them shuffling things around and saying, okay, we got to get this console revealed soon. I also think this is plausible because of the way Nintendo actually announced Switch 2. It was a little weird. It was like, it's going to be launching sometime this fiscal year. And I know a lot of people was thinking, if they're going to say that, that's probably going to mean next year or something. They would have said this year. Not necessarily. This sounds more to me like Nintendo didn't know when they wanted to reveal this thing. They wanted to wait and see the perfect time to reveal it, maybe based on the sales for Nintendo Switch. And if sales were still high, they would push it along and wait a little longer. But since sales are low now, they're probably like in frantic mode. Okay, we might have to reveal this thing sooner than later. So maybe that's why they announced it the way they did, because they didn't, you know, maybe they never had a date specifically picked out for when they wanted to reveal this console. They had to wait and see what the market was doing with current Switch, but obviously as the last fiscal report came in, it showed that Nintendo Switch is down, like significantly down. They lost over 70% of profit, so yeah, it's time to generate some hype, and maybe that's what Nintendo's doing, is just pushing everything forward. So, you know, in the next couple of weeks, we'll know for sure. I think this is going to be a very telling month, man, with the next couple of weeks and the entrance to September. What that Direct's going to look like and what this month is going to look like is going to tell us a lot of stuff. So right now, we sit and wait, and of course, I'll keep you updated on anything else that comes out. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe to stay up to date on all things Nintendo, and like always, I'll see you all on the next one. See you guys.